Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. So we met Ractor, and he is now officially part of the crew. Let's talk to Wu and the rest of them and see how they're doing before we go to the mission computer. Wu's cabin appears to be the only clean spot on Bolt Hole. His equipment is neatly laid out on his bedding, grouped by type, arranged just so. He's cleaning his weapon with meticulous care. Well, that's that, I guess. We're runners now. Yep. Think it's time to catch up? Could be. He stops for a moment, stares at the weapon in his hand. That's why I'm maintaining my equipment. It helps me focus my brain, work through stuff. He sighs and lowers the rifle. Now's as good a time as any, I guess. Where do you want to start? Let's go ahead and talk about Raymond. Okay, shoot. What do you think's going on with him? I don't know, Caleb. He was clearly obsessed with the walled city and whatever prosperity is. He sounds like a sleepwalker trying to stumble his way through a dream or something. A sleepwalker who hires Shadowrunners. Whatever he was doing, he knew it'd be dangerous. Raymond was smart. Smart as hell. If he thought he needed runners to take him into that place, he needed them. Why do you think he came to Hong Kong? Well, he's from here, right? It sounded like he had unfinished business that he needed to take care of before... You think he's dying? I don't know. Yeah, me either. Just something to think about. Did he say anything about me after I left? You know Raymond, Caleb. He taught us what he wanted to teach us. Told us he wanted us to know. Or told us what he wanted us to know. Everything else was met with a wall of good-natured silence. He used to say, "You are the master of the unspoken word, Mr. Wu. Once it's out of your mouth, it is out of your control." So no, after you left, he never said a word about you. Not a word. That's comforting. Well, let's talk about being Shadowrunners and our new exciting lifestyle. What's there to say? I worked my ass off to pull myself out of the gutter and make something of my life. I did what it took to earn my bronze. And now I'm a mercenary hiding in the shadows of a foreign country, doing dirty jobs that the corps need to keep off the books. It's the reverse of everything I ever wanted. You seem to be taking it pretty damn well, so let me ask you something. You said you thought that Raymond was alive too, and we'd run the shadows until we could figure out what happened to him. Was that true? Yes. For me, this is all about finding out what really happened to Raymond. Wu nods, clearly satisfied. Good that we're on the same page. I feel better knowing that. So, what's your opinion of Madame Chang? I'd say she's got us right where she wants us, right under her thumb. What do you want to talk about specifically? What do you think she wants from us? As long as her network keeps delivering information about Raymond, I don't care, at least for now. We need to stay with her. We have no other connections in Hong Kong, and without her, we're dead in the water. This is a stupid question, but I'll go ahead and ask it since I'm a dumb troll. You think we can trust her? A triad boss and an underground fixer? No, I don't think we can trust her. But as long as we all share the same goals, we should be okay. Makes sense. As long as we serve her interests, she doesn't have a reason to screw us over. Exactly. It's simple. She provides jobs, we do jobs. She gets info about Raymond and that plastic-faced man, and we figure out what the hell is going on. We figure out what's going on, she doesn't end up in the trunk of a car at the bottom of the river. Everybody wins. And what about the plastic-faced man? And creepy dudes are nothing new to me. Even well-dressed, creepy corporate dudes. Between the gangers we grew up with and the dreck I've ran into as a cop, I've seen all kinds. I just want to know who he is and who he works for. And we should keep an eye on Strangler Bao. We should definitely keep an eye on everybody, and that guy is definitely no exception. I've seen plenty of cold killers in the Barrens and plenty more since I joined Lone Star. This guy's the real deal. I'm not sure if he knows what the word remorse even means. You should steer clear of him. I'll be careful. I can see that. Oh, we're just going down the list here. Now, the reason I'm talking to all these guys and going through all the dialogue is in Dragonfall, you get certain quests and whatnot unlocked the more you know your runner. So I'm just going through the motions here, hopefully that other new quest will unlock for us. Let's talk about Gobbet and ISO. They seem competent considering how young they are, but then again, they sound like they've been taking care of themselves since they were pretty young. 3 of us worked well together in the walled city. Based on that, I bet the 4 of us would make a solid crew. Do you trust them? As far as I trust any runner, yeah. It's like Raymond used to say, trust and verify. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them, so until they do, I'll believe what they say and keep my eyes open. I can't get that dream that I had out of my head. You said you had one too, right? Yeah, yours sounded like a nasty one. I don't remember much about mine. I was pretty creeped out by our run in the walled city. Between that and all the drama, I'd be surprised if I didn't have a nightmare. He shrugs. Well, what do you remember about yours? Just little snatches of things. He puts his hands on his hips and concentrates. The walled city was breathing, and it had teeth everywhere, and there was a tunnel that was so bright that I had to shut my eyes, and Raymond was there, and he was either kneeling or lying down, I can't remember which, but he was crying. That's what made me wake up. The sound of my father crying. And he already said it, but I'm going to ask, was the walled city in your dream? Of course the walled city was in my dream. It was a nightmare, wasn't it? He gives you a lopsided grin. Was it in your dream too? It sure looked like it. I'm not sure I'm surprised. The walled city is more than just another slum and a sprawl. Hell, it is a sprawl. Of course we dreamed about it. The feeling I had there has stayed with me. It felt thick, heavy, and I got this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, wretchedness, I guess. Hey! Did it feel any different from any other nightmares you've had? He takes his time, thinks about his answer a bit before he responds. You know how sometimes you'll be mad at a friend in a dream and then wake up still mad at him? Then you treat him like he did something wrong when you see him? It kind of feels like that to me. Like I dreamed I was swimming towards a bright light, and when I woke up, I was out of breath from the effort. That's not good. Well, later's good. I want to do some cardio, work off some steam. Then it's rack time for me. You should do the same, Caleb. A couple 100 push-ups would do you good. Please, I could bust out 200 in my sleep. I am a physical adept. He raises an eyebrow. I'd love to see that sometime, but for now, you should clear out. I want to get started, and this cabin isn't big enough for 2. Alright, cool. Now let's head up here, see if we can talk to ISO and Gobbet. Isobel's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous jury-rigged computer. Serpentine cables snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together into a single colossal machine. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for your mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in the guts of an obsolete cyberdeck, one of half a dozen that have been wired into her computer with braided cables. Actually, I was hoping to talk to you. Got a second? There's a long pause, and she chirps out a response. Well, we're talking now, aren't we? I guess so, yeah. Can I ask you a few questions? She leans in, scrutinizing the innards of the obsolete deck. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Let's just go down the line here. Have you been having weird dreams recently? Her body goes still. Yes, I think that everybody has. Me too. I've been having horrible nightmares. I know, it happens more often than you'd think. She tilts her head in the direction of the walled city. This kind of mass psychosis was common where I grew up. Everybody got it. Wait, you've been sharing bad dreams with others since you were a kid? She nods. In the walled city, just one of the many amenities of life in that hellhole. But this, having it outside of the slum, this is new. I don't know what's causing it, and I don't think I want to. Well, it's quite a machine you're working on. Care to tell me about it? She's my pet project. I call her the Octopus. She waves a hand at the tangle of thick power cables that radiate out of the machine's central core. You might be able to guess why. Impressive work. How well does it perform? She's a monster. She yanks a fried trip from the deck's motherboard and neatly sets it aside, then fumbles in a nearby bin for a replacement. An absolute beast. What is this thing made of? Whatever I could find. Busted terminals, obsolete cyber decks, aftermarket memory from Maximum Law's dumpster. Scavengers would kill for this stuff in the walled city, but out here, people throw it away. She chuckles to herself as she eases a card into an empty expansion slot. Most deckers are early adopters. They buy whatever's newest, shell out huge amounts of Nuyen in hopes of riding the bleeding edge. Stupid. Why? Because I can have 5 of last year's model for a quarter the price of that whiz-new cyber deck, and after I finish daisy-chaining them together, the machine that I built will run circles around your hot new deck. Makes sense to me. Good. That's a good sign. Shows that you're thinking clearly. Frowning, she yanks a stick of memory from an old deck. So, was there something else that you needed? Can we talk about the ambush at Victoria Harbor? You're probably still sore about it. I'd rather not. I lost friends there. Indeed. Duncan and I didn't come out of the attack unscathed either. They shot Carter down, same as your friends. Was she your friend? You didn't seem that close. She returns her attention to the octopus, turning her back on you. I'd like to get to know you better. Tell me something about yourself. Something? She pauses for a moment. Okay, I don't like small talk. Does that count? Oh, come on, you have to give me more than that. No, I don't. Look, it's nothing personal, but I'm not interested in talking about myself. I just don't think that I'm a very interesting person. You don't like talking about things other than your computer very much, do you? There's a long pause before she responds. When she does, she sounds vaguely hurt. I prefer not to. Nothing personal, it's just the way that I am. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to know who I'm running with. Don't you? Yes, you're still a mystery to me. There's a long pause. I don't like mysteries, but I do enjoy solving them. She turns, gives you her full attention. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a question, something personal. After you've given me an answer, you get to ask me something. Oh, I love this game. Think of it like a game of questions. We take turns until one of us wants to quit. Deal? Deal. You go first. Ask away. She studies your face. We'll start off easy. Tell me what you really think about Duncan. Well, he can be a pain in the ass, but he's like a brother to me. Interesting. Her eyes flit to the doorway of Gobbet's cabin. The corner of her mouth tilts upward into a slight smile. And a little familiar. Well, you've answered my question. I guess that makes it your turn. How long have you been running the shadows with Gobbet? That's a good question. I guess about 4 years now. A decent stretch by anyone's reckoning. And that would make it my turn. She pauses, considering. I like this game. So tell me, what was your connection to Raymond Black? He was like a father to me and Duncan. He got us out of the Barrens. In that case, I'm sorry for your loss. Losing the ones that you love is hard. Your turn. Ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. Well, you grew up in the walled city, right? Tell me about that. She fidgets. I'd rather not talk about it. Ask me something else. How about tit for tat? Why not? I'll tell you about life in Redmond if you want. I don't need to hear about the Barrens. Just ask me something else. Otherwise, we're done here. Well, maybe let's go ahead and drop it right now. We'll come back to it. Okay, ISO. Consider it dropped for now. Of course. Thank you. So how did you and Gobbet meet? Her brow furrows, and after a moment, she screws her eyes shut. We met as kids. in the walled city. My prison was her playground. I'm sorry if that was uncomfortable for you. No, it isn't that. I'll be fine. She shifts her gaze to the octopus. I just have a hard time remembering those days. My childhood is kind of a blur. Oh, that's why the walled city. And that brings us back to my turn. She gestures at the cabin walls around you. You enjoy it, don't you? Living like this, working the shadows? No, I left this Streck behind when Raymond pulled me out of the Barrens. I want my old life back. I'm surprised. You're awfully good at killing for a man who wants to live an ordinary life. Your turn again. Go ahead, ask me something. Now, where did you learn to deck? The Wampoa. I lived there for a while after escaping the walled city. The people there were difficult. We didn't get along, but it was a great place to learn. My turn again. Her head tilts as she studies your face. And I think my last question for you. You're stuck here, marooned, you and Duncan both. He's obviously unhappy with the situation. He keeps going on about the things that he left behind. But what about you? Is there anything that you want to get back to? Yeah, I left something important behind. My entire life. You've still got a life. Might not be the one that you want, but you've got it. Considering what's went down on the docks, that's saying something. She glances down at the clock on her desk, an antique model with physical hands that look like it was wrenched out of a submarine. A frown spreads across her face. Dreck, it's even later than I thought. I've still got a long way to go before the octopus is fixed. She begins to turn away, her attention fixed on the stack of partially disassembled cyberdecks arrayed in front of her. Well, hang on, ISO. You still owe me another question. She stops in place and fidgets. That's true. Go ahead. Oh, we can go ahead and press her again. I know that you don't want to talk about your childhood, but I need to learn more about the walled city. Her voice goes cold. Why? Because Raymond Black wanted to go in there, and somebody destroyed my life to keep him from doing that. Her cheeks flush, just like they did the last time. She averts her eyes. No, I'm sorry, but no. Later maybe, but not now. ISO, please. This is important. Yes, but... Blinking, she turns away and buries herself in the octopus's splayed innards. Please excuse me. I have work to do. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll come back to that. Now let's talk to Gobbet. Gobbet's nest is pretty much what you would expect. Piles of clothes on the ground, an overflowing garbage bin surrounded by stacks of instant noodle packets and towers of tinned oysters. Avant-garde posters haphazardly thumbtacked to the walls, overlapping in some places and peeling in others. Feels a lot like an art school dorm room. Gobbet reclines in a corner, cradling a bowl of soup in her hands. At her feet, a cast-iron pot simmers away on an electric hot plate. The contents are typical Hong Kong comfort food. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, quote-unquote, and a heaping scoop of egg-flavored miso protein. As you wind your way through the piles of dirty laundry, Gobbet slowly lifts her head from her bowl to acknowledge you. Hey, Seattle. She chews on the words along with a mouthful of cheap pasta. A corner of her mouth curls up into a half smile. How's tricks? Things have been better. Things have been worse. That's the attitude. Very stoic, very strong. It's downright inspiring. She skims an oily flab of faux ham off the top of her soup and pops it into her mouth. Now, you want to tell me what you're doing in my bedroom? I'm assuming you're not here to admire the view. How did you decide on the name Gobbet anyway? I didn't. She pops a noodle into her mouth and chews. My mom did. I can't say... Aren't you using a street name? Isn't that dangerous for a Shadowrunner? Indeed. It's a nice name. Your mom has good taste. She smirks. I'll make sure to thank her for you. Well, the troll. Trolls like meat. Have you had any nightmares recently? Like, bad ones? Her jaw stops working mid-chew. Slowly, she nods. Yeah, I have. We all have. Everyone in town. Me too. And ISO. We both just had the same nightmare. Let me guess. You saw the walled city and a black whirlpool and teeth. Thousands and thousands of teeth. She holds up a hand. You don't need to answer. I already know that I'm right because I just had the same dream. Creepy, I know. Her voice goes quiet. The dreams are coming from inside the walled city. I'm sure of it. All of the negative energy pent up in there, all of that pain and anger and poisonous ki, it's leaking out. And while we sleep, it's getting into us. You think that this is a magical phenomenon then? Yeah, I think it is. Well, my personal opinion, the walled city is cursed. Deep down, I think that everybody knows it, and we live in its shadow. That's bound to mess with your head, you know? And it is. But they're just dreams, not like they can hurt us, right? Well, I'm glad that one of us isn't terrified by this. She tries on a smile, fails, does her best to laugh it off. Don't worry, Seattle. We're fine here. But, let's talk about something else, huh? I don't like thinking about the walled city very much. Too many old fears and bad feelings. Well, if you're up to talking about it, I wanted to go over the ambush back on the docks with you. Yeah, she nods slowly, frowning. Yeah, I figured you would. That was a hell of a thing, right? You could say that. It was fracking awful. Nightjar and Gutshot were two of the strongest men I've ever known. Quality Shadowrunners, both of them. I've watched those two fight through situations that kill anyone and come out on top. And how do they go out? She mimes holding a rifle, makes a show of peering down the scope. Bang, bang, dead, dead. No blaze of glory, no final speech, just extinguished, smashed like bugs. Well, we would have gone the same way if you hadn't got us out of there. She absentmindedly raises her bowl to her shoulder. A rat crawls over the slope of her back and lowers its head to lap at the broth. It was more rat than me. She's the one who grabbed me by the gut and led us to that sewer entrance. All I did was follow. Oh. I'd like to learn more about Rat. What kind of totem is she? She slurps thoughtfully at her soup. A clever one. She's gotten me out of more trouble than I care to mention. Got me into a fair amount of it, too. But I can't always count on her to lead me out of hot water when I need her to. I can't always count on her. I can feel it in my belly, you know? Sort of a tugging sensation. I've long since learned to follow it. I wasn't aware that totems took such direct control of their shamans. Usually they don't. Me and Rat, we have a sort of a special bond. She takes care of me, and I've always done my best to take care of her. Another pair of beady eyes blinks up at you from Gobbet's hip. A second rat scurries up her shoulder to join the first. And to pamper her earthly children, like these two. Meet Madness and Folly. Interesting choice of names. Actually, let's go ahead and say hello. Hey. They say hi. She brushes her fingers across the white rat's modern coat. Don't trust Folly. She bites. Do you always let your rats drink out of your own bowl? She shrugs. Sure, why not? We're all just part of the same nest. Makes as much sense as anything else, I guess. Of course it does. Besides which, I get shot at for a living. I've got bigger things to worry about than a few stray hairs in my noodles. So, how did you come across Madness and Folly? She raises an eyebrow. I looked outside. I mean, they're rats. Hong Kong isn't experiencing a rodent shortage or anything. So you just pick them off the street? Yep, think of them as rescue vermin. You could probably do the same if you wanted to. It's easy. Just walk into any alleyway in Kowloon after sundown and stick your hand in the first dumpster or storm drain that you come across. Keep fishing around until you touch fur. I might just have to try that. You probably shouldn't. She continues to brush Folly's coat. The creature chirps happily at her touch. Odds are about 50-50 that you get your hand chewed off. Probably feel bad about that. That's okay. My hands are, covered in cyberware. You seem pretty comfortable with all of this. Been running the shadows for a while? She dips her chin. A long time. Started when I was just a kid. Yeah? I gather you've seen a lot of action then. I'm not going to call her a kid. People have to grow up. Sometimes a lot quicker than others. She rolls her shoulders. Plenty. Been in more firefights than I can count. You're pretty new at this. You and Duncan both. It shows. She takes a moment to study you. Slowly, her mouth tilts into a smirk. What you need is a wizened mentor, an experienced runner from whose experience you can benefit. I'm thinking that might as well be me. Well, see, I try not to talk down to folks. Sure, why not? I could use the advice, and I don't see ISO volunteering for the job anytime soon. You're in? Good. Starting the next time you visit, I'm going to teach you all about being a Shadowrunner. She stifles a yawn. You're going to benefit from my bountiful experience. Wait and see. I'll be looking forward to it. Gobbet stretches, stifles a yawn. Her rats scurry from her shoulders down to her hips. She taps a simmering pot on the floor with her boot. The soup inside is reduced down into a thick, viscous gravy. You know, Seattle, this has been a nice chat and all, but it's getting late. I still have the rest of a hot pot to power through. So without wanting this to get awkward, she glances toward the door. Say no more. I'll get out of your hair. Take it easy, Gobbet. Yeah, you too. Well, at least we're on good terms with one of the two. So, let's check out the mission computer and see what exactly is going on here. Objective complete. That was a long mission with all the talking. Your workstation and mission computer. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right corner notifies you have 6 unread messages. Wow. Okie dokie. You have 6 unread messages. Welcome to Oi, your mission computer, resources, serial killer, artifact liberation, geomantic sabotage. From Kindly Chang to Shan, welcome to Hoi. Shan, on behalf of your friends at the Hoi Chamber of Commerce and the Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Hoi and to our new business venture. I've already lined up 3 jobs for you. The details of each are contained in a separate computer message. Remember to check your messages often as I will update you with new opportunities as they occur. Auntie C. Mission computer from ISO. Hey Shan, I've set up your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports, information, and media that might be of interest to you. Some of the keywords I've got it trolling for are things like Raymond, Duncan, Walled City, etc. I've also patched a permanent link to the Hong Kong shard of the Shadowlands BBS. It's a great place to connect with other runners, sell pay data, get news from the street, and so on. Don't be shy about taking a look. ISO. From Bao Jingzhong, that must be Strangler. I've been instructed to inform you of the various suppliers present in Hoi. Auntie Chang has cultivated a commercial district of well-stocked and trustworthy vendors. Whoever you choose to do business with, you will be in good hands. Ermine Kai-Fi at Club 88 is an excellent resource of acquiring additional weapons should you require any. If you needed magical supplies, go to the Parlor of 5 Phases. If you desire training in the path of the Adept, seek out Spider Shen. She can help you, as well as supply you with any close quarters weapons that you might desire. I didn't know that Spider was a female. Chrome Alley can supply you with cybernetic enhancements and medical supplies. The proprietor, 10-Armed Ambrose, is a cyber surgeon of some repute, and he's pretty awesome too. Law's Techno Palace is a Wampoan-run supplier of the local decking community. The place is hard to miss. Just look for a sign glowing in the sky. If you need drones, Reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar is your best bet, and I pity you. Best of luck in the shadows. As fresh meat, you're likely to need it. Strangler Bow. Serial killer. This just keeps getting better. I've got a problem, Shan, and you're going to help me solve it. I do a lot of business with the Wampoans. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll forgive you. You're an outsider, after all. I'm not doing this in the voice because she's not here. The Wampoans are a tribe of techno-fetishists and deckers who've taken up residence in the Wampoa Garden area of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of Nuyen passes through their pasty little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals between them and the smugglers here in Hoi. I've hit a snag, though. The Wampoan elders, their council of leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. They've asked me to dispatch someone to get to the bottom of it and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do. So you're going to be my proxy, dear. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Wampoans have a delegate here in Hoi by the name of Maximum Law. Speak with him if you wish to know about Wampoa. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. You get your ass down to Wapoan Garden and talk to the elders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, as long as they're convinced that there won't be any more murders. And I want my cut back, and I want it soon. Ah, these must be the jobs. Artifact Liberation. Welcome to the Shadows, Shan. I've received a request from the archaeologist named Mr. Drake. He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath a manor house located in Taipo. I've attached a copy of the video message that he sent me. The screen flickers a few times. The email is replaced by the face of a stern-looking orc. Hello, Madam Chang. I've heard that you're a woman who knows how to get things done, especially with regards to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That's exactly the kind of help I'm looking for. Recently, a rich investor by the name of Lu Hoi decided to expand his manor house on the outskirts of Taipo. Too much money, not enough space for fancy parties. He had a snag with local government officials, however. They expected the land his estate was built on may have had pre-modern archaeological artifacts buried beneath it, all of them dating from the Song dynasty. Consequently, I was contracted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations and assure everything was properly recorded and catalogued. Sure enough, we were only a few days into excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Lou or I had expected. Several acres of catacombs at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they're certainly older than the Song dynasty. They may even be from a previous cycle of magic. Before I could take my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Lou called in his allies in Tanpen Incorporated, or Tantien. Lou sold the entire site to Tantien, who then leased it back to him. Because Tantien is considered to have extraterritoriality in Hong Kong, local authorities were powerless to stop Lou from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. Can you believe that? The odds of these being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil, but he doesn't care. Anything to sell a few tickets. Lewis continued his excavations, using Tantien contractors to expand the dig. What he didn't know is that I bugged his comlink before he fired me. Based on what I've heard, something strange is going on in the lower levels. Workers have been disappearing, only to be found dead several days later. Whatever is down there is too dangerous to be left in Lou's hands. Lou must have found my data line tapped, though. I stopped receiving any information 3 days ago. The last thing I heard him talking about were a pair of ancient texts that workers had discovered. Then he issued an order that further excavation should be halted until he can secure the subterranean areas. I bet those texts are what caused whatever's killing the workers. I have quite a bit of experience with these kinds of dangerous excavations, but an operation of this scale is beyond me. I need a team that's tough enough to get in and survive, aren't afraid of making a mess, and who can get out with the books and whatever else they can carry. Beyond the 2 texts, I'm willing to pay very well for whatever other artifacts your team can liberate. The more valuable, the better. Don't worry, they'll be going to actual museums, not some rich playboy's mansion. I've got a second program in place that'll suppress Lou's security system. The team will have to be careful, though. There are only so many alarms I can suppress. Go beyond that number, and I'll scrub the mission. I've included a catalog of likely items to help the team appraise the most valuable ones. They don't need to be subtle. In fact, I prefer they make it look like a common robbery. Tell them to smash and grab what they can. Let me know when you find a suitable group of Shadowrunners. There you have it. A nice, simple robbery. Do you think you can handle something that basic, dear? I have faith in you. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. I'll contact Mr. Drake when you're on your way. Indeed. Now, I'm just going to go through this. I know this is a long episode, guys, but we're going to get through the mission computer so we can actually get to some missions. Geomantic Sabotage. Geomancy is big business in the Free Enterprise Zone. Here in Hong Kong, feng shui isn't just the act of rearranging your kitchen to make things look pretty. The fortunes of empires rise and fall with the ebb and flow of qi, and sometimes that flow needs a helping hand. Wuxing Incorporated are the preeminent practitioners of large-scale qi manipulation here in the Free Enterprise Zone. They've gone to great lengths to channel qi from all over Hong Kong into their headquarters, an enormous monstrosity that they call the Zhujing Sky Tower. There it is focused and transformed into good fortune through the building's geomantically attuned architecture and interior decoration. Our client believes that it's time for Wuxing's good luck to run out. You are to infiltrate the Sky Tower and disrupt the flow of qi throughout the building, but you are to do so in 2 distinct fashions. First, you must disrupt the feng shui of the offices by subtly altering the environments of that level. This will consist of minor adjustments of desks, spilled water, and other small activities that are likely to be noticed, or not to be noticed. Ordinarily, even subtle disturbances of this nature would be noticed. This is why the client wishes you to make a much louder demonstration on the rooftop garden. The garden is to be ransacked, utterly destroyed, set fire to things, uproot trees, that kind of thing. Our client has also specified that he would like you to destroy the large Buddhist statue in the garden, smash the thing to bits and leave them scattered across the rooftop. This level of destruction will keep Wujing's geomancers busy long enough that the more subtle disruptions below will take effect. In addition, it will send the kind of message our client would like Wujing to hear. I have utmost faith in your ability to cause destruction. The more disruption you can cause on both levels of the Sky Tower, the happier the client will be. As you're not a spellcaster yourself, it may be wise to bring Gobbet along. She'll be able to see the most effective ways to disrupt the key of the building. Interesting. So there's our missions. That's going to be going to the jobs directory, I imagine. Now, real quick before we go, let's access the Shadowland BBS. We'll post some pay data, because we have the exotic animal dealer contacts that we got. Posting will remain active for 2 days. Now let's check the BBS for relevant keywords. Thread missed connections. You, rappelling down the side of an unarmed luxury hotel in a ball gown on Monday night. Me, admiring the view from the 28th floor urinals during a private soiree for an unarmed corporation that I was infiltrating. Unnamed corporation. Our eyes meet briefly before you dropped out of sight. Your long, dark hair had come loose from your chignon, I don't know what that is, framing your beautiful, flushed face. I'll never forget it. You were carrying a duffel bag, bulging with stolen prototype weaponry. Well, I filched the intel that goes with it. Can we connect? Blackjack. Nice. Very funny, Blackjack. I'm sorry the job went sideways. I got trapped and had only one way out. Red Queen. We were supposed to have each other's backs. Just wait till you hear the way out that I had to take. We gotta lay low for now. And why are we posting about this on a public message board? Indeed. Terrorist in Hong Kong. That must be about us. Been hearing some buzz about some mainlander terrorists that showed up in Victoria Harbor and had a shootout with the HKPF the other day. Anyone hear anything about that? Ming Pao said there were 4 of them that got away. 1 troll, 2 orcs, and a dwarf. A troll, an elf, and a human were all killed on the scene. Word is that they're members of the White Star out of Henan, coming here to start trouble against the Executive Council. Looks like there's a 50,000, reward for any information leading to their capture. The HKPF seems pretty nervous about letting these bastards walk freely around the streets. You think they'd actually pay out to somebody like us? Not a chance. You walk in there to claim the reward, you're getting thrown in a hole with them. The HKPF doesn't keep promises to the sinless. Couldn't hurt to try. Why do you have to be such a downer? Because I know the police. They're all dirty. They're only in it to protect their paychecks and they don't give a damn about anyone else. Believe me, I'm just looking out for your best interests. Like you and your triad looked out for my brother. You know he's still paying for his reconstructive surgery, you bastard. If a man wants to keep his teeth, he should pay what he owes rather than pull a gun on me. Simple as that. Now it's going to start breaking down. Poetry Slam. Ladies and gentlemen, poets and Shadowrunners, welcome to the first annual Shadowland Poetry Slam. Wow. There are no rules and there are also no prizes, except bragging rights. Without further ado, let the versification begin. How long do you think we can keep this going before the trolls show up or the system admin shuts us down? Well, why would they shut us down? It's a free board. We can be poetic if we want to. Just trust me, it happens. For some reason, these things always draw the worst sort of attention. So it's like Reddit. Are you going to give us a poem, or are you going to stand around complaining about why you can't? Alright, I've got one. Wait for it. Synth muscle, smart links, neural boosters, cyber limbs, all fall to grenades. A little musing on the transience of life in the shadows. Very nice, sir. That was a nice haiku. When the long shadow fall on Hong Kong, neon lights pierce the coming night. Tread with me the velvet blackness, let no lamp shine on our deeds. That one's entitled Our Hour. That might just have been the most pompous thing I've ever read. Try this on for size. Lasers are red, shadows are black. With Matt on the street, you best watch your back. My poem wasn't pompous, you uncultivated rube. It was an homage to Huang Wei, the famous Tang Dynasty master of the Zhizhu form of poetry. It's traditional, unlike that ridiculous limerick you just posted. It is Reddit. Now, I don't think you have to take the word slam quite so literally. Hey, you people know the rules. Poetry slams have been out of bounds on this BBS since the Laughing Man debacle of 55. If you want to sling your fancy words, do it on a different forum. I'm shutting this thread down. Systems operation. Told you. Now, last one, Walled City. I've got a courier job next week that's supposed to take me into the Walled City. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, and I've never been to Hong Kong, but I hear that place is dangerous as hell. Is there anything I should know? Oh, you've got nothing to worry about. It's just a low-cost housing development full of hardworking people. Here, take a look at this news report. Uh-huh. A short trid clip begins playing. This is Sunny Chuang with Horizon News. On today's Sunny Side Up, the Kowloon Walled City, a blight on the free enterprise zone, or low-cost housing for the economically disadvantaged. We'll introduce you to some of the hardworking residents, how they live, and how they contribute to the growth and prosperity of our city. A montage sequence begins, showcasing the destitute poor of the walled city going about their daily lives. The shots have been carefully chosen, showing only smiling and productive residents, a stark contrast to your own experience inside it. And news teams do that. I used to work for a news station, and they did the exact same thing. Many residents of Hong Kong regard the walled city as a place of no return. To outsiders, it's the last stop on a long road to homelessness. Rumors abound of feral ghouls, unsafe living conditions, and triad extortion. Yet when we weren't there, the reality was far different. What we saw will shock you. Citizens of Hong Kong working and living just like the rest of us. Their apartments are smaller and their shops more modest, but the people who live here wouldn't be out of place anywhere in the FEZ. Citizens like shoemaker Chow Sang Sui. The scene cuts to an elderly man in a closet-sized stall filled with shoemaking equipment. He smiles broadly at the camera. Oh, I love it here. We have a community, you know? We're like family. Maybe we don't have as nice a view as they do in Repulse Bay, but I can't imagine living anywhere else. It's not a paradise, no, but it's my home. I grew up here. How could I possibly leave? The camera shifts back to Sunny Chuang. I think we talked to him, actually, who now stands in front of the entrances to the walled city. Contrary to popular opinion, the walled city serves a vital function. The poor and downtrodden find a home in the walled city, a community where they have a voice, can work, and even prosper, far from being the eyesore that the video suddenly stutters, freezes, and ends. Okay, I've decided to cut the rest of that crap. She keeps going on about what a good place the walled city is and how we all need it. Don't buy any of it. It may not be hell, but you can see it from here. Freedom Cowboy's just trying to get you in trouble. Hey, it's ISO. So, how do you know the real story? Because I grew up there. You know what it's really like? It's eating old broth made from rat bones because there's nothing else. It's watching your neighbors sell their 5-year-old son to organ leggers so they don't starve to death. When you die in the walled city, your neighbors cheer because they'll get the clothes off your back. I wouldn't wish the walled city on my worst enemy. Wow. Good to know that from ISO. Okay, guys, well, we are going to go ahead in the next episode and choose a mission to take from Kindly Chang and get on the road. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.